In broad strokes, it combines 6 existing tax credits out there and tries to provide more efficiency by combining those 6 into one. The proposal addresses 2 critical components of facilitating job creation and stimulating new private investment by 1, dealing with business development incentive programs, and 2, job training programs. The proposal is a culmination of a lot of work by a lot of people and the recommendation from a lot of state business leaders, the economic development community, local government, and regional growth associations. The proposal reshapes 6 existing Missouri business development programs into one simplified, modern, and flexible tool with broad applicability to meet the demands as we are in this very competitive environment, not only nationwide but globally. The proposal, as I mentioned, reshapes 3 existing state job training programs by aligning program definitions with business development incentives and simplifying the application process, cutting through some red tape, and creating consistency for those who seek to use those programs. The proposal honors all existing commitments that we have with current programs and allows the state to market its more modern toolbox. The proposal assures a timely return on investment to the state, requiring a positive state fiscal benefit after deducting all incentives and exemptions. Provides much-needed upfront funding mechanism that provides access to capital for businesses that many other states already have in their arsenal. And it does this by creating a systematic controls for accountability with progressive annual cap that ramps up over a period of years as existing obligations under the program ramp down. And the annual cap, if you combined all 6 of them, accounts for $143 million and will start out at $111. And it also has some language that we will continue to work on, but I believe deals with important clawback provisions and accountability protections for those upfront financing. So with that, there's some folks that want to testify.
Thank you, Senator, and thank you for your support and passion for this bill. Certainly we understand that it is a competitive marketplace out there in terms of job creation. And unfortunately, from a business development standpoint, there isn't any one single bullet. It's extremely competitive. We operate in a global competitive market, and we have to have the right combination of tools necessary to convince and show businesses why Missouri is the best place for them to operate. We do have a lot of assets. We have assets like our business-friendly tax structure. We have a very competitive energy cost. We have a low cost of business. Our location certainly is an asset that can't be replicated. Our natural resources, we have suitable properties. We have a very, thanks to this body as well as the other chamber and the governor, we have managed our financial stability such that we are an example, and our workforce. But with all those assets, we also, to be competitive, have to have a set of incentive tools that will make us competitive with other states. Certainly we understand that the economic development professionals around the state, not only the Department of Economic Development, but the local professionals have to operate in very short time frames. Site consultants and businesses issue RFPs and RFIs on a regular basis. They expect complete, detailed, and timely responses to their requests. They demand, they expect, and quite frankly, they deserve to get those types of responses because they have to, as businessmen and women, they have to make decisions in very short time frames. We have to be able to meet their needs. But most importantly, the incentive plans, the incentive programs, as well as our responses to any RFIs have to be simplistic and they have to be they have to be flexible if we want to meet the needs. We certainly have a number of programs, as the Senator indicated, that we manage out of the Department of Economic Development, and we have a number of programs that over the years have been developed, and they, in their own sense, each one of those have value and they have assets. The problem is that each one of those are single-purpose programs with one-size-fits-all all benefits. So as a result, regardless of the business needs, the businesses have to try to shoehorn their needs into our programs. Our programs are not very flexible. They're not flexible enough that we can use our programs to adjust and meet the business needs. Unfortunately, in both my current job as well as my job before I came here, I too often heard from business leaders and site consultants that the Missouri programs are too complex and quite frankly they lack some of the components necessary to be competitive with other states. And quite frankly, even when we are successful in terms of expansion and recruitment projects, sometimes we have companies that really don't feel very positive about the experience because of the complexity and the lack of flexibility in our programs. Our success depends upon having programs that have a broad applicability, meaning that we shouldn't have programs that exclude urban or rural areas. We have programs that ought to fit whether they be an opportunity in an urban or a rural project. We shouldn't place thresholds on incentives that cut a large base of job growth opportunities out of the equations. And quite frankly, in both of those cases, both in terms of making sure we're inclusive of rural as well as urban areas, and in terms of large and small programs on projects that we are being considered for our state, our programs really aren't flexible enough to be able to meet those. Certainly, we also know that from my perspective and what I've observed, and I would think that nearly every economic development professional across the state would say that the largest deficiency we have in our current programs is that we do not have an upfront funding mechanism like most other states, the states we're competing against. All of our programs are back-end loaded. Whereas the other states, while they may not give as many incentive dollars to a company, the company can get those resources up front when they incur the capital expenses in terms of expansion or recruitment. We also believe that there have to be responsible incentives because we think that we need to operate as investors for the state. We need to make sure that we are investing on behalf of our taxpayers to ensure that we have responsible programs. We think that our job is to maximize the opportunities to support private sector job creation at a minimum cost to the taxpayers.